Hello and welcome back to Stronghold. I'm the Magi and this is Meta Monday, October 27th. And boy, let me tell you folks, the product fatigue on and off Arena, particularly on Arena, is starting to get real. Not only do we have 6 or 7 sets per year being directed into Standard, not only are more than half of those sets stretching and redefining what it is to be a Magic the Gathering product by nature of being Universes Beyond, but now we're also getting Arena Direct to Eternal releases about every month or so that are 30 plus cards. And of course, today they also drop an Alchemy Rebalance on us that takes effect, you guessed it, tomorrow. Plenty of time for the Alchemy players out there to rethink their decks with these rebalances. Okay, I fuss enough, but like for real, it's beyond hard to keep up. It has truly become mentally challenging. So let's start with the Direct to Eternal release, and this is coming by way of the new Power Cube on Arena. And we're getting, I don't know, what is that, like 30 cards just eyeballing there? We'll go through those in a bit more detail, but I wanted to start with the 4 that are powerful enough and worrisome enough that they are pre-banning these in Historic, which means only craft one of these for Brawl if you so desire, or if you're looking for multiple copies to play in Timeless. Those are Fire Blast, the classic 6 mana instant that allows you to sacrifice 2 mountains rather than pay Fire Blast mana cost. It deals 4 damage to target creature or player. Now I'm looking at this and noticing that it has a common set symbol on it, and that this is typically a common card. So I, for one, am thinking about this for Historic Pauper, because it's being banned in Historic. That doesn't necessarily mean it will also be in or banned in Historic Pauper, rather. And this is one of those classic Pauper cards that really is needed to bridge the gap between the 2 versions of Pauper that currently exist. Next up, we've got Preordain, another common card, at least according to the set symbol. 1 mana sorcery, scry 2, then draw a card. Yes, that really is that powerful. Sorry about the dead mic there, had to take a little bit of a water break. Next up, we've got Pyrokinesis. 6 mana instant. You may exile a card from your hand rather than paying Pyrokinesis' mana cost. Pyrokinesis deals 4 damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures. I would like to deal 4 damage to my opponent and 0 damage to all of his creatures, because that's a thing you can declare in that wording. And of course, Seething Song, yet another common card, at least according to the set symbol on the artwork. 3 mana instant, add 5 red. I can see where this would just be really busted and overpowered in Historic. The various Storm decks would just absolutely eat this up. Now, okay, so now to the broader issue. Power Cube is literally adding hundreds of new cards to Arena, not all of which are going to be immediately craftable. We just went over the 4 that are powerful enough that they are going to be pre-banned in Historic. There will be no time to do shenanigans to get wildcard reimbursements or anything like that. Let's see here. First up that will be craftable, Carnage Interpreter. 3 mana, 3/3, and this is a hybrid mana cost of Rakdos symbols. Just to go on record, I do think hybrid mana in Commander and subsequently potentially Brawl is a good thing, as long as they do not include the Phyrexian mana, where you can pay life rather than the mana, or the generic 2 colorless mana spells. I don't think those should be included. I do think they'd be disruptive. But barring that disruption, back to Carnage Interpreter. It's a devil detective of all things. What's up with that? What in the 9 hells do you need a detective for? But anyway, when it enters, discard your hand, then investigate 4 times. As long as you have 1 or fewer cards in hand, Carnage Interpreter gets +2/+2 and has Menace. I think that goes really well in the potential discard deck. Beyond that, I'm really not sure where we're going to see a lot of play on that. These will be, of course, legal in some cases in Pioneer, but I am probably not the person to ask about which of these are and which of these aren't. In the future, we may include new competitive Pioneer cards. Yeah, okay, so I think this is mostly for historic and timeless, but Coalition Relic, which I would have thought was already in Arena. Let's see here. I'm curious. No, no thank you. That is not what we are in fact trying to do. Just taking a brief break here to check out and see if Coalition Relic, and apparently it isn't. I don't know why I thought this was already on Arena. I thought that was from an Arena release set, but I guess it isn't. At any rate. So Coalition Relic, this is a 3-mana rock, add 1 mana of any color, put a charge counter on Coalition Relic. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, remove all counters from Coalition Relic, add 1 mana of any color for each charge counter removed that way. Okay. Dak Faden, wow, there's something I did not expect. And is it 3 mana Planeswalker? +1. Well, it starts with 3 loyalty, but you +1. Target creature draws 2, or target player draws 2 cards, then discards 2 cards. A -2, gain control of target artifact, or a -6, you get an emblem with whenever you cast a spell that targets 1 or more permanents. Gain control of those permanents. Okay, interesting. Death Greeter's Champion, a 3 mana human warrior with 2/1 stats, and it can dash for 4, has a backup of 1, and double strikes. Okay, that's a pretty heavy hitting creature, not gonna lie. Dress Down, a 2 mana flash enchantment. When it enters, draw a card. Creatures lose all abilities. What a bummer. At the beginning of your end step, sacrifice Dress Down. So I guess it's one of those I gotta win right now things, right? Figure of Destiny. Boy, I remember this from back in the day. 1 mana Kithkin, 1/1. It can become a 2/2 Spirit Kithkin for 1 Boros mana. For 3 Boros mana, if it is already a Kithkin Spirit, it becomes a Kithkin Spirit Warrior for 4. And then for 6 Boros Hybrid mana, if it is already a Kithkin Spirit Warrior, it becomes a Kithkin Spirit Warrior Avatar with base power and toughness of 8/8, flying, and first strike. This was pretty hoss. You had to kill this really quick, and basically when they didn't have open mana. We already talked about Fire Blast. Glimmer Lens, 2 mana white artifact equipment with 4 Mirrodin, which means it makes a token it attaches to. Whenever equipped creature and at least 1 other creature attack, draw a card. It equips for 2 mana. Leobold, Emissary of Trest. I guess this is just for Brawl mostly. It is Sultai colors. Each opponent can't draw more than one card per turn. And when you or a permanent you control becomes the target of a spell or an ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card. It is a 3/3 Elf Advisor. Mind Collapse, 4 mana, red instant. If it's your turn, you may sacrifice a mountain rather than pay the spell's mana cost. It deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. That, of course, is from one of the Modern Horizon sets. Mirrodin Battlesphere, another one of those cards that I remember from back in the day. It is a 7 mana Mire construct, and when it enters, you create 4 1/1 colorless Mire artifact creature tokens. Whenever the Battlesphere attacks, you may tap X, untap Mire you control. If you do, this creature gets +X/+0 until end of turn and deals X damage to the player or planeswalker it's attacking. That, of course, has base stats of 4/7. We already talked about Preordain. Pendant Prism, 2 mana with Sunburst. This artifact enters with a charge counter on it for each color of mana spent to cast it, so up to 2. Remove a charge counter from this artifact, add 1 mana of any color. This looks to be an uncommon and probably a very good budget brawl rock, being a 2 mana multi-use charge counter thing that honestly gets better the more colors you are playing. Pyrokinesis we talked about, Seething Song we talked about, Snuff Out, another card I would have sworn was already on Arena, but this is a 4 mana instant and a common. If you control a swamp, you may pay 4 life rather than pay Snuff Out's mana cost. Always gotta love alternate casting cost. Destroy target non-black creature. It cannot be regenerated. Like, that's a thing we still do. At any rate, Titiana, Protector of Argoth, a 5 mana legendary elemental, base stats of 5/3. When it enters, return target land card from a graveyard to the battlefield. Excuse me, not from a graveyard, from your graveyard. Whenever a land you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, create a 5/3 elemental creature token. Boy, I can see some combos coming with that, with recursive lands and things like, oh goodness, what is it? The Golgari uncommon that everyone likes to build around. It makes a plant token every time something leaves your graveyard. Boy, that can really add up quickly. Torsten, founder of Benalia, a 7 mana human soldier legendary creature with 7/7 base stats. When it enters the battlefield, reveal the top 7 cards from your library. You may put any number of creatures and or land cards from among them into your hand and the rest of the bottom of your library in a random order. When this dies, create 7 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. I can see some potential there, but man, a 7 mana legend. Let's see here. Torok, Dread Cantor, a 2 mana 2/1 legendary human cleric with kicker, black plaque, and protection from white. Whenever an opponent discards a card, put a +1/+1 counter on this. And when this enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, target opponent discards 2 cards. Okay, I see the combo there. And kind of a reactionary piece to the Madness decks that are, potentially going to become all the rage in Eternal, but have not done so yet. But moving right along to Unexpectedly Absent, an X white instant. Put target non-land permanent into its owner's library just beneath the top X cards of the library. So it's kind of like burying it the deeper, the more you pay. An Unmarked Grave, a 2 mana sorcery. Search your library for a non-legendary card. Put that card into the graveyard and then shuffle. Okay, I can see a tutor effect having a good use. 2 mana sorcery, essentially a tutor. Pretty good. Upheaval, 4 and 2 blue sorcery. Return all permanents to their owner's hand. We've got stuff like this on Arena currently that I don't think sees a whole lot of play, but there it is. Vampire Hexmage, a 2 mana vampire shaman with 2/1 base stats and first strike. You can sacrifice the Hexmage and remove all counters from target permanent. I am 100% certain that this is being inserted now, and that Dark Depths will eventually be included on Arena. It is in the Arena Cube list, and I can't think of any other reason to include Hexmage competitively other than Dark Depths. Feel free to get in the comments and tell me the obvious things that I've overlooked and why I'm stupid. Moving right along. Winds of Abandon, a 2 mana sorcery. Exile target creature you don't control. For each creature exiled this way, its controller searches their library for a basic land card. Those players put those cards onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle their libraries. Exile target creature you don't control. Oh, you can overload it. You may cast the spell for its overload cost. If you do, change its text by replacing all instances of target with each. So for overload, that's 4 and 2 white. You can target multiple things. Next up, we've got the 8 mana green Treefolk Shaman creature with 6/6 base stats and trample. When it enters, destroy target non-creature permanent, and it persists. So when it dies, if it doesn't have a -1/-1 counter on it, it comes back with a -1/-1 counter on it. Oh man, I can just see the combos coming with that. Zurin Orb, the 0 mana artifact, uncommon here. Sacrifice a land and gain 2 life. Well, doesn't that just fit in with the land recursion combos that we talked about? So those are all the cards that are going to be craftable effective tomorrow. Just going through these by the set symbol on here. A lot of these are rare and mythic. There's a common. That's 2 commons, 3 commons, an uncommon. 4 commons, 5 commons. 2 uncommons. Yeah, okay, so there's maybe half a dozen lower rarity cards. I would seriously consider, just for brawl purposes, for instance, really consider getting you a Preordain. The Pendant Prism. Snuff Out is going to see some play at lower rarities if they in fact give it to us at common. Let's see here. Vampire Hexmage. This is showing a mythic symbol. And Zurin Orb, unless you have a combo that feeds into it, I don't think I'd mess with that just yet. Now, to speak for a moment about the event that is coming along with this, the Power Cube event. First off, they kind of tucked it way down here at the bottom. But just for entering, you do get a Squirrel token sleeve. And I gotta say, that's something. Not a lot, but it is something. The reward structure on this, I'm just going to focus on the best of one, is not great. Because while you do win historic boosters starting at 0 wins, you don't start winning cube prize packs until you hit 5, 6, or 7 wins. And for those that don't know, in a best of 3 where you play until you have 3 losses, hitting 5, 6, or 7 is a pro level of play. That's not easy to do. So unless you are a pro vintage cube player, I would avoid this because the entry is 10,000 gold. That's right. You can do 2 quick drafts of the new set for the same entry fee. We are definitely seeing a lot of other stuff in the Power Cube, not the least of which are the Moxen and other pieces of the Power 9. And in fact, let's jump over. I think there's an entire other article that gives the list. Let's see here. Well, apparently I zoomed right past it. Or did I? Sorry, navigating things is hard. Dev diary. Yeah, here we go. Power cube and the full list of what's in here. Now, bear in mind, these cards are technically being added to Arena, but only the ones that we just finished talking about are going to be added immediately to be craftable. So the cards that we're getting ready to look at are not 100% craftable. Let's start with the colorless pieces. Haywire Might is already on Arena, so we don't have to worry about that. There's Battlesphere. Emrakul, Sundering Titan, gotta love that. Not really seeing much here that's a lot. I mean, there's your Black Lotus. Lion's Eye Diamond is going to be pretty hot if and when it gets constructed. Lotus Petal is another one that's going to be super hot, and I love it in this frame. And I love the way they don't show a set symbol or a rarity for that, because they haven't decided apparently. Mana Crypt, we've got Mishra's Bauble. Mox Diamond I think is already on there. There's all your other Moxen, your Ruby, your Sapphire. Ether Spellbomb. I think this was just added. Candelabra of Tawnos. They're gonna do some funky stuff there. Mana Vault. I think that was just added actually. Let's see here. Skull Clamp. Here it is. Wizards, you cowards. It's time to do it. Give me Soul Ring for Brawl. You flippin' cowards. It is high time to do this. And I love the idea that they have this as an uncommon, so we will be able to use this in Artisan Brawl as well. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Grim Monolith, Lightning Greaves, Pendant Prism. You know, if you're looking for really good cards for your Brawl decks, this is kind of a great place to start. Let's see. What else we got here? Let's take a look at the lands. I'm also interested in that. We just saw a bunch of these. You've got the fetch lands, shock lands, original old school duels. Again, not immediately craftable. None of the rest of these are really jumping out at me. All right, so let's talk then about the Alchemy Rebalance, which is going to take effect tomorrow. And the first thing that I see on this, as someone who has spent a little time, more than usual, playing Alchemy this month, is that the Mardu Mobilize deck got just attacked and somewhat neutered here, mainly through the Waystone's guidance here. It went from Mobilize 2 to Mobilize 1. Perhaps the strongest and most polarizing card in Alchemy. It's present in almost every aggressive white deck. In addition to setting up 2-card combos with Thunderbond Vanguard, it makes all of your creatures follow it must answer threats, condensing games into removal check situations. Pulling back on the rate here will open up the design space of Alchemy and make more card strategies viable. I can't argue with them. They're exactly right. And then, of course, the big Mardu card that went in that was the Thunder Kite, the Mardu Dragon 2/4 flyer, went again from Mobilize 2 to Mobilize 1. It still has, when this creature enters, creatures you control perpetually gain your choice of Menace, Lifelink, or Haste. That's sick. One thing that did get a bit of a boost is Swift Spear Teachings. I guess now they want to encourage mono red aggro. This card used to read you get your choice of prowess or haste, and now it reads that the boon grants your choice of prowess. Oh no, excuse me, I have this backwards. It used to give prowess and haste. Now you have to choose between prowess and haste. Sorry about that. I was totally reading it backwards. My bad. Vivi Ornithopter is getting neutered for Alchemy. And that's okay. I still think it's playable. And once it gets banned, probably from Standard on the 10th, the fact that they're rebalancing it in Alchemy says to me that they are going to ban it in Standard. I think this is the first real conclusive evidence that we have. The big change here is they added a tap to its mana ability. So you cannot use its mana ability and still attack with Vivi in the same turn. It was just a 0 mana activation, so you could get all that mana, cast a bunch of spells with it, pump Vivi up, and then swing. Now you don't get to do that. Still think this is playable. Still plan on building and releasing a Alchemy deck around this card once it gets its neuter. Let's see here. Fountainport Charmer got a little bit of a boost, honestly. A 2 mana, 2/3 uncommon Frog Bard. It had Offspring for 1 mana. Now it has Offspring for 2. So, excuse me, not a boost. It's slowing it down a little bit. When this creature enters, creature cards in your hand perpetually gain. This spell costs 1 less to cast. So if you get this down, it's going to pay for the Offspring cost. It's going to pay you back for the Offspring cost pretty darn fast. Why, thank you. Appreciate that. Hardest part about having a smooth stream is reading the cards correctly and not getting that annoying dry mouth. Let's see here. Marauder got a little bit of a boost. I think this is an archetype that never was, but then again, they're trying to push some things. So clearly that's what they're trying to do there. Stoic Star Captain. Each creature you control, crews and vehicles and stations permanents as though its power were 2 greater. It had been 1 greater. So again, they're trying to give a little bit of boost to Edge of Eternities and Alchemy. Archetypes that just never were and may never be. I don't know. Candela, Aegis of Aegea, went from being a 2/3 to a 3/3 when it's fully stationed. Again, trying to boost archetypes that just never have been. Deviant Startack, max speed, sacrifice this enchantment. And you used to have to pay 1 and a blue in addition to sacrificing the enchantment in order to create 2 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature tokens. Well, I can see why nobody would have wanted to pay 2 and sacrifice the enchantment that they already paid 3 for in order to get a couple of additional 1/1s. Not real great. Asking players to spend, this is what the Alchemy Arena team had to say. Asking players to spend an additional mana after reaching max speed was too much on the Skytech. Perhaps it'll find a more niche in this sleeker shape. Yeah, Arena team, I am not holding my breath on that. Lurker of the Deep, the 6 mana Fish Illusion 7/7 Alchemy card. Now has Impending 3 instead of Impending 4. So it comes around a little bit faster if you pay the cost. The Arena team said Lurker in the Deep is a unique build-around for Seek decks that have been too slow for the metagame. Having it come online and turn faster will help justify its slow tempo as a 4-mana play. Okay, if you say so. Let's see, Zhao Kai, Flickering Talon. Apologies to my Asian viewers and listeners if I completely butchered that name. This is another Arena card, this time with blue, red, white cost. It has now base stats of 2-4, and it had been a 2-3, so a little bit of a boost. It does a lot of things, but it does none of them especially well. Thank you for that insight, Arena team. We want to put some more emphasis on the long-term value of the Flurry ability, increasing its resilience, putting a card closer in the Mardu Thunderkite. With this, could Jeskai Prowess have some legs or wings, haha, over the traditional blue-red Prowess builds? Maybe, but again, I'm not really seeing it. The other thing to know is that Meat Hook Massacre and Fires of Invention formerly had been alchemized and now are being reversed for use in Historic, so you get to play the original cards again. Kind of a surprise there on Fires of Intervention. I really am a bit surprised with that. I don't know why this takes so long. Like, Meat Hook Massacre rotated more than a year ago? Why did it take this long to suddenly realize that you could reverse that change? I don't know, but there it is. Other things that I'm excited about, we're going to start the Avatar The Last Airbender season with a Pioneer Metagame Challenge in Midweek Magic. And good news for drafters on the arena. Avatar The Last Airbender will be quick draftable effective November 27th, which will make it in time for your November season rewards. And that's a great bit of news because it means you don't have to draft Omen Paths. And hey, it just doesn't get much better than that as far as announcements, as far as I'm concerned. But guys, that is really all I've got. Again, I'm a little concerned about product fatigue. Not only the number of sets that are formally coming out, but the rapid nature of direct to Eternal Alchemy releases, or Eternal releases, and now we're seeing like offset Alchemy rebalances. There's no new Alchemy set. Both Omen Paths and the Avatar set will not feature Alchemy releases, but here we are getting a rebalance right in the middle. I feel you on that. One of the folks in the chat room just commented that they felt like that for over the last year. Oh, they're talking about Meat Hook Massacre, that it was relevant. Or no, it feels like it's been over a year since it was relevant. Sorry guys, I'm fighting early stage migraine here, so reading the screen is difficult. That's why I'm going to be wrapping up here in just a moment. But yeah, product fatigue is really becoming more and more of a thing. I think the next 15 months on Arena are going to be really challenging, especially if they keep doing these direct to Eternal releases like once a month for 30 plus cards. And I feel like the Power Cube is really setting them up to do just that. They probably have like 150 more new cards that they can kind of trickle out as craftable pieces. And you know what? We're going to do our best to go over them as we can. But it's really starting to feel like a landslide. And it is not getting any better anytime soon. Thank you. I appreciate that. I will do my best to get well soon because the arena in the Stronghold never stops. I am going to be signing off in just a moment and go die on my couch. But if I don't, in fact, die, or if I somehow come back to life, I will be right back here on YouTube tomorrow with Midweek Magic. We've got an Omnipotence draft, and as a person who is often accused as knowing everything, I can tell you it ain't easy, okay? Knowing everything is actually really, really difficult. But join me tomorrow on YouTube as we tackle that omnipotence draft, because you, in fact, don't have to know everything for that. In fact, there's really just 3 fairly simple things to know to make that event work for you, and we will be going over all of that live as I draft and play the event. And of course, then we will be following up the rest of the week over on Twitch. So lots to come from the Stronghold. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. We are knocking on the door of 2,000 subs on the main channel. And for those of you who have not visited my Patreon page recently, shame on you, because I just announced a new channel going live. This is going to be a primarily short format release of daily content in which I open an arena pack and talk about its contents. I've got the primer video, the explanation, introduction video live on the page right now. I'm setting the hopefully short-term goal of hitting 500 subs over there, and daily content will start with the release of Avatar: The Last Airbender on Arena. So be one of the first to get over there and sub. You can still be in the first 10 as I say these words. So get in there quick, guys. We want to hit 500 subs and really start doing something with that channel. But thank you as always for being here. It's greatly appreciated. Check out the Patreon, check out the new channel. Lots of things coming, lots of things happening right now as we speak. I always appreciate you guys being here for the live streams. And until next time,